Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to have no idea what that joke was that I just told, but you'll just have to hold on for the next one. My name's Jason.
My name is Sarah.
And this is the Posture Podcast.
It is. It's the Posture Podcast.
We've done tens and tens of years of product marketing for clients across the spectrum in terms of everything from ed tech and K-12 products all the way to digital media giants. Mm-hmm. And for all of them, we believe that product marketing is more about how you stand, your stance in the marketplace, not your static position. A lot of people will talk about my positioning and my messaging being that one sole corner of the market you're going to occupy. For us, it's about how you stand in relation to your clients, to the market, to your competitors, and to the product roadmap. Are you standing at the starting line clapping for someone, or are you standing at the starting line with your feet in the blocks? And that's what we ask our client every time, and we help them figure out how to do that even better.
Beautiful.
Yeah, thanks. I do it.
That was great.
Okay. So this is an exciting day because we're going to talk about a couple of different things related to product marketing. And we're glad you're joining us. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe. Hopefully you'll stick around. Okay. For the first topic of the day, we want to open up our Make It Make Sense inbox. Sarah, do we have any questions?
We do. So a lot of people ask us, what's the difference between features and benefits? Because there seems to be some confusion. Many people think features equal benefits when they do not. Jason, do you want to elaborate? I think you have a perfect example.
Have you heard me give it? I like to pull it out whenever I can. Yeah, features and benefits. You'll notice that a lot of times on a website for a product, they'll start listing off what it is and forget about the why it matters. And that's actually the way that we connect to the people we're marketing, is the why it matters to them specifically, not necessarily why it is. And the way that I like to describe it is just using a basic analogy that I don't know if it helps or not. So we have this posture, a bit of posture swag, if you will. You can call it a product, but we don't sell swag, though it's good. It says posture.
Can you show it? Like open it, show it. There you go. What is that?
Yeah, it's actually,
Jason, what is that?
I love this. This is fantastic. Oh man, it's tight. So this is just a tumbler, right? So you're having a party at night and you want to pour a little something and have a drink. So we have this tumbler and we give it out to our clients. There's a lot of really great, the reason we got this is there's a lot of really great things about it that we like. One is it's stainless steel. So it's really got a good hand feel. It's nice and comfortable. Feels like it's high quality. So if I gave this to you, you'd be like, oh, stainless steel, this is nice. Yeah. The second one is there's actually, you can't tell, but in the lining, there's some space in the walls behind it. And that keeps it either cold or hot, kind of like a thermos. So it's really nice in a nice evening in the winter. You can put some hot cocoa in there and it'll stay nice and warm, or a hot toddy, if you will. It's got a really great sippy lid that is actually, as you saw when I tried to pull it off, it's very secure, waterproof. And so that's nice. If you knock it over, it's not going to spill your toddy all over you. And the last one I really like is the posture logo on it. We could put on our colors, put on our logo, do whatever we wanted with it. And that way, when you're drinking your toddy in the middle, I don't even know what a toddy is. I've never even had a toddy. If you know what a toddy is, put it in the comments below. Actually, don't do that. But the thing that I love about it is, it's got all these really great things that I can touch and feel, that it's really, really practical. At the same time, it conveys and reminds people about posture and who we are. Those are all features, right? The features are the thing that make up the product. It's faster. It does, in the case of this microphone I'm using, it's really quality studio sound. In the case of my earbuds, they are basically falling out of my head and they drive me crazy. But the features are the things that make your product, period. They make your product. It can be anything digital. Like I've got a downloadable app, a desktop app, and a web app. Those are all the things. The benefit of giving this mug to my clients is huge because it gives you a sense of goodwill. It lets you know that you're an important member of our family. It lets you know that we care about you. And so the features of this sort of stainless steel mug that you can drink something out of in the middle of the night, and it's got my logo on it. The benefit is every time you pick up this really high quality mug, you think of posture. And so the benefits are why it matters to your client. What it is, feature. Why it matters, benefit. And so the key is that a lot of times when we look at the landscape and what the other competitors offer, or you look at your roadmap and you say, okay, these are the things we want to build into the product, it's important not to conflate the idea that it's a feature is the same as a benefit. Because what you want to continue to do is add value for your clients. You want them to perceive your product as being better in a lot of different ways than your competitors. But the reality is that doesn't always come down to ticking a tick box. And quite frankly, as a product marketer, if you are going down a list of features and you're ticking off whether we have it or they have it, you've lost the game. If you started your initiative with how you think we're going to win and what you think your buyers want and how you connect to that in a meaningful way, then you're going to secure a really strong position in the market.
Yeah. It's also, in my opinion, I feel like it's also about trust. Like if you list feature after feature after feature, but then you leave out the benefit as to why your audience or buyer wants this, it's as if, it's kind of like a narcissistic relationship. Like it's all about me, what I have. But I need to be able, as a product, as a company, as a business, a small business, I need to be able to say that these are what how my features benefit you.
Yes.
So if I'm a buyer and I'm looking for a product, if they can't tell me what the benefit is to me, I won't buy it.
That's right. That makes sense. You don't know how it's going to change your life, or even if it will, but you do know it has a logo on it. So that's awesome. That's awesome.
Here's my side eye.
Okay.
Speaking of AI and not using it as a coworker, those dead eyes, those AI avatars that I'm seeing everywhere on commercials on YouTube, on my social media, everywhere. These avatars that also can't seem to like get their mouth to move correctly or talk. I can tell when there's one avatar commercial I saw where this guy is leaning back in his chair and it looks very real, but then he says, "I go live every day," when clearly the script was supposed to say, "I go live every day." He says, "I go live every day," and you can see on my lives. Okay, that's AI. Why would you put that out? Why would you put that out if it is clearly?
This is
not just not just clearly AI, but a mistake. It takes away completely. I don't remember what it was about. I just remember the mistake that that AI avatar made. That's what
inherently
I remember from it.
Inherently great advertising. When you remember the thing. That's hysterical. I think the AI avatar thing is, I know why. Well, I kind of have a sense of why people are doing it. Although it is, to your point, like dead eyes. It is. There's something. This is my side eye too, because there is something slightly off, and it's slightly off enough to be really, really disturbing.
It's that uncanny valley. That still has not been solved. It has not. It's gotten better. Has not been. But solved. It has not been solved.
Here's my thing, though. Yeah. Like I understand that. Okay, so you want to put your little avatar. This is not actually Sarah and I. You want to put your avatar on the front of a presentation and be like, in every slide, just speaking to the slide as a way to create engagement. I get that. But I will suggest to you that still the best way to do engagement is to take a presentation, take a selfie video of it, and email them both of those two things to your team workers or clients or stakeholders, whoever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Introduce the product, tell them the main point, they see you, they're listening, and then they can flip through the deck if they want to.
Mm-hmm.
But to get this like Tin Man kind of like not real, dead eyes kind of version of yourself, not ready. It's not ready for prime time.
You know what I will accept? I would accept if somebody created like a animated AI kind of avatar, not a real life, somebody who a thing that's trying to imitate you as a person or make it look like you're in a little window describing your messaging. If it was your voice and you recorded your voice and then you had AI create a little cartoon avatar bouncing around the screen, pointing at things, I would accept that. I'd be fine with that.
That explains your presentations a lot. That, like, text to do.
Should I be offended? Should I be offended?
No, that's what you want. It's
okay,
great.
I'm not.
That's great.
The topic of the day is the go-to-market stack. Basically,
yes.
What you need pre-launch, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Well, okay, before we go into landscape, do we want to just say what is a go-to-market stack? Like why do we need one before launch? Period.
Yeah, or what is it? What is it for us? Yeah,
yeah.
I like that. I would say it's probably your go-to set of tools.
And to know
what?
What tools for what? Like to go back to have be your foundation.
Yeah, I like that too. I think that's a good point.
I think that this is the content.
You ever notice that when like someone doesn't know the answer, they're like, "Oh, really good question." You're like, "No, it's not. It's just a basic."
Well, in my opinion, what I use our go-to-market stack for is a foundation. It's a foundation set of tools we can always go back to. We can always pull from. We can always use as a source for our clients.
I really like that actually, because you don't want it to be formulaic, but there are certain things as a product marketer you have to know to go to market. You got to know the landscape, you got to know the competition, you got to know the product, and this is where you start setting the stage for everything. And that stack, I like how you describe it. It's like the set of exercises that get us to the insight. You're not going to walk in having the insight about how to take this to market. You gotta do the exercises. We often talk about it in terms of storytelling and science. Well, no, you don't. You don't hear people. You hear me ranting about science and storytelling. Branded. But the point is, like, a lot of times a product marketer or a salesperson could easily become just like a hype person or doing a big pitch. And I think that's really, really important. And during certain stages of the product experience and the go-to-market strategy, mobilization, sales enablement, all of those things, it's really important to tell the story. And it gets back to like what you just said about, features and benefits. You got to get people to understand the features, and you got them to understand the benefits. And a lot of times that's pitches, that's presentations, that's consolidation, it's one-on-one conversations. It's building out that sense of like why this matters in a one-to-one or one-to-many kind of context. The problem is it also takes science. And a lot of time for me, people forget about the science. The storytelling needs to be balanced with science. And I think that's what the go-to-market stack is, right? It's the tips, tools, and tricks that you use, the science that you use as a product marketer to to build out a good go-to-market plan. It's the aha
to build your
moments
story. Yeah.
to build your
It's
story.
to
Exactly.
build your story. Yeah.
So we were going to talk about one in particular, one piece of the puzzle, probably the starting point, which is the landscape analysis, which actually is a little bit unfair because it's a giant topic, but we'll kick it off with a primer.
Huge.
Kick it off with a primer. So, Sarah, what is it that what's the landscape analysis all about for you?
Well, it's knowing your competitors. It's knowing what your audience, what your buyers want, what they need, what they're looking for, and how you fit those wants and needs. How your competitors are fitting those wants and needs. It's kind of like a combination of competitive analysis and like target audience segmentation. What I'm not sure
How you'd phrase that.
how you phrase that, but it's like an all-in-one. Like here are the needs of the market, and here are the players who are meeting these needs. Where do I fit? How can I fit? And how can I have an advantage within this landscape?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting. So we do this on the regular when we kick off our go-to-market strategy and building out what the strategy is. And a lot of times, people will have a sense of who they think their buyer is and who they think their competitor is. So you often get people, companies who come in and say, well, we're completely innovative. We don't have a competitor, in which we often respond, well, then we can't help you because you have no market. You want at least you want at least one solid competitor. If you're gonna dump millions of dollars into a market, you got to know someone else thought of it first, and you best them. You don't want to be out there trying to sell paper clips to a bunch of people who don't have any paper.
Well, also you can have a product that's new and innovative, but also be able to find that landscape where that new and innovative product kind of like outshines everyone. You know what I mean? Like there is always a landscape. There's always going to be competitors. Are you better than these competitors? What do you have? What is it that's so innovative about what you can offer that beats your competitors? Because you do have a competitors. Yeah. You have a landscape, a market.
Yeah, a context. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a context. I think that's exactly. The landscape is the context.
Yeah, I think that's a really good kind of the way you're talking about it is really good, and you want to be able to go in there and tell the story of innovation, but people have to understand basically what the problem set is. You don't want to necessarily build the pain point for people. It should be something that they know and that they've been trying to solve, and then you can come in and you can say, well, this is the way we solve it differently from everybody else. Right. So I think that's a key point. I think there's a couple of ways in which we really drive into that. The first one is getting a sense of buyer needs, and at the very beginning, a lot of times, either you're working with a small product stack or a new product that's going to market that maybe doesn't have the level of investment you want from the company itself. If you're maybe a mid-stage company, or you've got, I don't know, 1,000+ employees, this might be the case. Or if you're an SMB, a lot of our clients are relatively new to the scene, or maybe they have 10 to 20 employees, something along those lines. You can't field this giant segmentation survey, or you can't go out and do this giant study of who's out in the market. And so one of the really useful tools we use at the very beginning is something we call the extrapolated buyer needs analysis. And it comes out of that idea of you have competitors. And so we might say to someone, okay, well, who do you see yourselves as competing against? And then we can take that core group and expand it. And sometimes we've taken a core group of maybe 2 competitors and said, okay, well, let's work with 5 and let's see what's really out in the market and what they're doing, and that'll help us with that extrapolated buyer needs analysis. We'll understand, by that I mean, we'll understand what it is your buyers want, because presumably your competitors are trying to compete for the same people too, and so we'll try and sort that out. But it's figuring out how many competitors are in the market, what are the good ones, and what are the ones we should be paying attention to, because there's a lot of stuff out there. Some of our projects, we recently did several projects in which we had 30, 40, 70 competitors on the list when we started out.
30, 40, 70.
70. All right. It was a big market. It was like, we want to sell we want to sell bubble gum. No, but like you can't do anything with that, with those giant groups of competitor sets and stuff like that. And when we talk about the landscape, we don't talk about like this giant swath of competitors. What we talk about is an understanding. So maybe a few in each corner of the market that can give you a sense of what's going on in the landscape itself.
It's also, I think, important not just to focus on the top competitors, but also the ones who aren't doing so well, because where not to go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And when I first start building it, I definitely look at that lower segment, because it's important to know what to stay away from. It's important to know what is not wanted, what is despised, because usually people despise products when they are not giving them what they want.
That's yeah, I would say like not too long ago, people would be a little bit quiet about it. But I think probably thanks to social media in particular, people are very willing to state their opinion about stuff. Sarah, aside from hiring Posture to do it for you, what are different sources or stuff like that you'll use when you're trying to kind of evaluate a company, whether or not you should be paying attention to them, what their buyer messaging is, and those kinds of things?
Well, that depends on our client. It depends on what field they're in. So like we have a tech client, then I would look at like tech journals and magazines and online magazines and articles written across the board from top. Sometimes there will already be like our top competitors, and a lot of products will have us versus this other particular competitor, and they'll have several blog posts about them versus another top. And so I pull from that. You also want to pull from user reviews off of app stores, Reddit, comment sections on social media. You'll get a lot of information directly from the users on those platforms. And then third party articles and journals written by people who are not involved in either of or any company, who are just users, YouTube reviews, comments from the YouTube reviews. It's important to get a well-rounded sense of what people are thinking and what's being offered on both sides.
Yeah, it's true. And you're very formulaic.
Multiple sides, not just both sides. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say you're very formulaic about it, in the sense that it's important to say, okay, well, this is what it is. But if you have a sense of kind of where you're going to go and how you're going to do it, you don't need a huge team to do it, or a huge amount of time. This is about getting the lay of the land. And so you can go out there and you can say, okay, I've got this list of competitors. I've shortlisted it to the 5 I care about most. And then do that. Say just exactly that for each one of these competitors. What user reviews are out there? What are people saying in social media? What are people saying in the app stores? And I think that's really important. And just thinking through it, just methodically, means that it won't seem as overwhelming as sometimes it can. If you sit there and you think of like, oh my God, landscape analysis, that's no. do it methodically and just be careful and make sure that they're, I think, to your point, make sure that they're competitors that matter. And they don't necessarily have
Exactly.
to be the big ones.
And with another client, specifically an ed tech client, it was important to get a sense of how they actually succeeded the science, and look at studies done by universities and long researched, in-depth experiments and tracking of students and their process using this particular product. So a lot of universities will have that, especially teaching departments and education departments, stuff like that. So
that's a really good point.
There's a wide range of sources you can use, and it's very tied into what the product is.
That's a really solid point. We do have a visual that we like to use. And believe me that they do not always look like this one, although dots and bubbles are always a go-to for us. We love our dots and bubbles. But,
and colors.
And colors. If it's not...
And colors.
If it's not color rich, it's not a rich slide. Keep it in a palette, though. Am I right, Sarah? Keep it in a palette. Okay, so basically, if you look at this visual, what you'll notice it's basically a four square. What we like to do is figure out a spectrum of what the market is, and then plot where these various competitors are. And so this doesn't have our actual client's information filled out on it. It's just as an example. We have a proprietary relationship. And so for their confidentiality, we didn't put their details on it. But it's a good example of lots of color. The point is, probably the thing that Sarah and I spend the most time on when we're doing a landscape analysis is not the review of who's what and what they're doing, like we were just talking about, as much as it is, how do you categorize these people or these competitors and help our clients or help you make sense out of it. And so we'll think about, they need to be two mutually exclusive categories. So you might say, okay, one category is going to be the use of technology or the use of AI, right? And so we're going to plot that on the horizontal, and we're going to say, if it's like a great use of AI or something that's something about your particular product that makes sense, maybe it's implementation of agentic AI, or it's use of Gen AI for text to image. I don't know. But the point is, if it gives the users a lot of control, we're going to plot that towards the left. On the horizontal, if they have no control and it's just generating whatever the heck the machine wants, then we'll plot that on the extreme right. In the same way with the top to bottom, maybe it's ease of use or something. If it's really easy, we're going to plot it at the top. If it's really difficult, cumbersome, whatever, maybe it's open source and you have to code it yourself, we're gonna plot that on the bottom. And then you just figure out where each of these competitors you just looked at fit. Well, this one really has a lot of generative AI, but it's really hard to use. And so we're going to plot that maybe on the lower right, whereas this one has not much generative AI, but it's really, really easy to use, so it doesn't matter. So we're going to plot that in the upper right. And then you put yourself on there and you kind of say, okay, that's what the landscape is. These are where these players are. Do we want to play with the folks who are so concerned about text to image that they're making their product hard and innovate there? Or are we really going for the people who hate AI, but have simple and clean interfaces? Because that's our buyer and that's where we want to be.
It gives you a real sense of where you should be, where you want to be, how you see yourself in the market, how you see yourself compared to other players in the market. Yeah. It's a real visual that can be incredibly helpful to see all these things at once.
Yep. We'll share out this template so you guys have it on the in the comment section. And you can always reach out to us at posture.consulting, and we'll help work with you on putting together one that's perhaps specific to your market. That can be the biggest piece of the puzzle, is knowing exactly where everybody sits, not just, what they offer, and then where you sit in relation to them and how you want to respond. Then you can have the strategic discussions. Then you can think on messaging and positioning and where you want to go with that.
Right. Okay, so we're into our messaging and our competitive analysis. What tools in your go-to-market stack would you need for this part? Would you need for competitive analysis?
It's funny. It's actually something that I think comes in multiple different places in the go-to-market process, which is taking all this information you have and putting it together in a very concise format. And I think the most popular format for that is obviously a battle card. The battle card. The reason I say that it's like hits at multiple stages is because I think it's just as useful for the product marketing team and for the product management team as it is for the sales team. So
that's what I was about to say. Yes.
Yeah, it's something you can build out like very early on and then evolve as you learn more, or as you have to tweak different pieces of it.
And it's something that I refer back to a lot, because there's so much information on it about like the range of your competitor, from messaging to the pricing to where they are with their, mouths or, whatever. It's all the information is right there.
Yeah, it is literally like a grab and go on each individual. If you guys have never done one, we can share that with you as well. But basically what we do is we take one single competitor. There have been times where we took concepts as well. So I can remember one time for a client of ours, they asked for how this kind of set of 10 competitors talked about a particular theme that was going on in the market at the time, whether it had to do with certain technology or funding or something along those lines. So we built it around, a concept, and we've done that before. But the most common is to take one individual competitor and put down what you have in a really concise but really consumable way. And Sarah is actually one of the best people I know at doing this, because it's everything from this is who the competitor is, what their elevator pitch might be, what their strengths, weaknesses are, where our opportunities are. And then on a lot of times we'll have a backside to that sheet that gets into the details of like monetization, pricing, features, what's paid or unpaid features. So the front will be about the business and the back will be about monetization, messaging, positioning, some product details, growth metrics are those kinds of things. It's key. I think a lot of times the other thing I would say about this is there's a real balance. And I say it needs to be concise but consumable, because those are not always the same thing. I've seen concise battle cards that have maybe, 8 bullet points on it, but don't say enough to give someone a sense of where they should go with it. If you think about a battle card, you're arming someone to be able to respond to something. And if it's like 8 bullet points that mean nothing about that competitor, they're not going to be able to respond to anything. Whereas I've also seen quote unquote battle cards that are 30 slides long. And that's as good as a dusty book on a shelf.
No one gonna read it. Too long, didn't read.
Exactly. Can I get an executive summary of this battle card, please? Yeah, it's funny. Sarah, what's the hardest thing for you when you're putting together one of these?
Making it concise. I can have the content. I can give you the information that is relevant and that is needed and that you can, arm yourself with. It's putting it in that concise format, because there can be a lot of information on one product or one theme. It can be overwhelming when making it, and if it's overwhelming when you're making it, it's going to be overwhelming when you're trying to take it in. So making it concise, making it readable.
Is there a
usable.
trick that you have for doing that?
Using
I'm
Jason
putting
as
you
an
on
editor.
the spot. That's not helpful. There you go. There you have it, folks.
I like to give plenty of words so he can cut them out.
That's exactly it. No articles. If, then, that. Don't show up.
The right
It's funny.
font.
Yes.
Consistency
The right font.
in the look of it.
I find that on a battle card, it's the only place that a 9-point font is appropriate. But it certainly has to be a sans serif font because you'll never get it in otherwise. The thing that gets me about it is that in that kind of struggle to take that comprehensive, that huge amount of knowledge you have. First of all, it's an emotional process for me because, I just read this like huge long list of comments on Reddit and I want to be able to tell somebody about it. So why not everybody? And so you just kind of, check that research and just say, these are the salient points. If they really want to know the detail, they can ask me about it later, but that's not what's relevant here. What's relevant is just getting the tidbits out. But I often get stuck when trying to be concise with words. Like, what am I, you get mired down in like, okay, I have a space on this battle card that's like 3 by 3. How am I going to, and by that I mean like 3 words by 3 words. How am I going to get this down? And for me, it's about saying it out loud over and over again. Like if I can't, I can write, but sometimes you just got to say it first. And even with a voice memo, on your phone or something like that, just hit record and then just say it. What is the main point? What's the so what? So what? So what?
That's what helps me when I'm providing you with what I've done and I need to make it concise. You always ask me, what's the so what in this slide? And it's never the title that I've already put down. You're like, okay, let's take that and make it the actual title because your title is 4 lines long.
Yeah.
So what?
Yeah. Get to what matters. It's there was the I'm going to screw up what this was called, but there was that exercise where I think, man, I'm totally going to screw this up. It was either GM or Ford. We're going to go with Ford. But the exercise was the 5 whys. And, someone would say, oh, well, this is supposed to happen. And you say, why? And then they have to answer that. And they say, why? And then you have to answer that. Say, why? And so you do that 5 times. And then you get the really core idea. You get to the blunt point in the strategy. And I think for product marketing, that works really well. The so what? Like ask yourself, keep on asking, so what? Of the same point, and eventually you'll get to something that's concise, regardless of whether or not you really like the amount of stuff you read on Reddit. Most of the time I don't, but there it is. So that's there you go. The battle card. The battle card.
That's a tool for that portion of your go-to-market stack.
There you go. The tool for that portion of the go-to-market stack.
So when we have our battle cards, what's next? What comes after that?
I think the key thing then is it does get down to messaging sheets and those kinds of things. And by messaging sheets, we will probably spend a long time in multiple rounds talking about like marketing or messaging architecture and the structure of how we roll out what this product is and what the benefits of the product is, who the company is and what the benefits of working with this company are. And so we like to do something we call a messaging architecture. And really plainly, it is a structured way, not with written out words or complete thoughts, but a structured way of writing down concepts so someone can look at this, someone on your team can look at this and say, okay, this is what the product is. These are the 3 main pillars of the product in terms of its strengths or benefits. These are the reasons to believe in terms of why that benefit is true. That's the other thing about a feature and benefit thing. It is not good enough to just say that this is going to help build my client relationships. the reasons to believe are the features. It's really high quality. It's got my logo on it. You know, I shipped it to them with tissue paper. It's meaningful. It's meaningful. No, but I think the point is that messaging architecture is really the structured thing that you roll out to the team, so that maybe they put it in their own words, but more comprehensively, they understand that benefits and then the features, the reasons to believe behind that thing, and then how you want to structure the proof points behind it. That messaging architecture is then the backbone of whatever it is, your sales campaigns, your messaging, your branding, your social media campaigns, any growth marketing you're going to do.
Okay, so far in our go-to-market stack, we've talked about our landscape tool asset, our battle card asset, messaging architecture asset, not in a linear order. These are all tools that you pull out as needed, that you create as needed. Sometimes your client will want one thing before the other, or they'll be focused on, one this set of information, and then that will lead into the next set of things that they want from you. So what else? What else do we need in our go-to-market stack toolkit? We have
our stack toolkit. Yeah. Well, it's interesting because when you're thinking about like battle cards and the messaging architecture and those kinds of things, one thing that often for us, I think, happens kind of concurrently is the heat map, which is actually something I haven't seen in many companies that I've worked with in the past. I think it's something that we've developed, but it's something that not only informs the other two, but also, again, like everything else, kind of evolves as you learn more. And I know you're an expert in these heat maps, Sarah, so maybe you can describe it. I know you're an expert in describing these heat maps more than I am.
Well, there's what I like about the heat maps, and it's the only thing I like about the heat maps, is the color. You can really see patterns in the information. With the color, you create the formulas that then dictate the color. But then once that's there, you can read it, read the landscape, read your competitors, read the holes in the market, buyer needs, just by looking at the color patterns. I mean, basically.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting because, it, first of all, does literally look like what you would imagine a heat map to look like, But if we're taking that benefits forward approach, this is really visualizing what's going on in the market in terms of the competitive landscape and key benefits that we've identified as we've done the other research. And we're definitely going to spend more time on this. There's this massive wealth of research that goes into each of these competitors. It really captures everything that you know about them. And then in the same way with the landscape that we scored them out, we then score the competitors out according to the strengths of their features, and then score those features in terms of their importance to the buyer. And so what you end up with is this really dynamic heat map that it's tedious to put together, but then becomes a very rich tool for your stakeholders.
And something that we often go back to and reference and pull from
all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the central resource. It's the central resource, which is a great thing for us as we're trying to continue to build out a campaign, but also for others as they're trying to grapple with something. You'll see product managers, for example, that will have seen the battle card that we put out and then say, hey, what other information, or can you tell me more about this? Mm-hmm. And all that stuff sits in the heat map.
And the pricing.
And the pricing.
As well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, monetization process.
The other thing about it is that it's dynamic in the sense that you can sit down with the executive team or whoever the decision makers are, the go-to-market team, and decide which of these benefits or which of these themes are more important to a particular in the market today. And so which do you want to lean into in terms of your product marketing? And then you can actually see shifts around and tells you which competitors are stronger or weaker there. So
And
if you say, okay, well, this thing is really important to me. Sorry, I was just going to finish the thought. This thing is really important to me or to my buyers. Like, okay, wow, every competitor is addressing that. That's not where the hole in the market is. Sorry, go ahead, sir.
Well, it also, kind of building on that point, it's a resource used by multiple departments. So our it's not just that one department of our client. It's multiple departments who can go back to it and pull what they need from it, and look at what they need from it and make decisions based on what they're doing. So yeah, awesome. It's beneficial across the board.
Yeah. So it's some work to put together. It's some work to set up.
Some work. I think, yes. It takes a long time.
But we come in under budget and schedule every time. No, but it's one of those things where setting it up initially does take a chunk of change. You're doing the research anyways. So being mindful that this is an asset that you want to build out in the same way that I want to build a battle card. You're going to do the research, you build the battle card. You're going to do the research, structure in a way that you can put it into this heat map. And then it'll carry you throughout the go-to-market cycle, and it'll carry you into roadmap planning the next year. And if you keep it updated and shifting it around in terms of, buyer themes and needs and those kinds of things, it really, it plays out, and it stands the test of time with considerable updating.
And it's the basis, I think, for our science. To be able to tell the story. That I feel like the heat map really is the foundation for the science.
Yeah, that's a really solid point. The other things are static, but this is a decision-making tool, like in terms of the landscape.
Yeah, it's a decision-making tool. Yeah.
Okay.
So
last thing in the stack.
Landscape, heat map, battle cards, messaging architecture. What about pricing?
Yes. We all love to price thing. Actually, it's interesting. The pricing thing is super important, and speaking of science, takes some time. So I think, first of all, go-to-market teams often rush to these questions about pricing too quickly. Like, you can't talk about pricing unless you have a really solid definition of what the product looks like. And a lot of times it even more so, you have like a working beta that looks like the product that you can put into the hands of people to do some proper, like, what would you pay for this kind of testing? But we do start the pricing analysis early. It should be part of the initial stack of stuff that you're going to do, in the sense that you want to know what kind of monetization models are out there. Are people mostly doing SaaS? Are they selling subscriptions? Is everything downloadable, one price? Is it a service fee? Is it, cost plus? How is it that the majority of the players in the market are addressing it? That'll tell you a lot right there. If you think you're going to go sell a subscription to something and no one else is pricing in a subscription way, you should know that information early so that you can make sure that you're very conscientious about how you build in those theories of operation, or how you build that monetization into the product, if that's what you think you're going to do. How do you, because AI is all the talk of the rage. We've got this product stack that we talked about. What's the best and worst ways that you see like AI being used in this process? Like, do you use AI? Like, is it a wise choice? I think that's one of the things I wonder about a lot.
Yes. I think at this moment in time, if you're not using AI in some way, shape, or form, you are falling behind. But not using AI in a way that is like a coworker. Like, AI is a tool in your toolbox that you can use. AI can help me synthesize a ton of information. Again, bringing it back to making it concise. I use it a lot for that. I will put in a huge paragraph and just be like, summarize this for me, please, because I cannot right now. I have too much information in my head to be able to give you a so what. So tell me what. It's very helpful. It's important, though, to make sure that either you are asking it the sources it's using and then checking those sources.
That's huge.
Or you're providing those sources. What you don't want to do is give your client studies that don't exist and results of studies that don't exist, that they're just making up, because within that thread, it's the AI has come to the conclusion that this is what you want to hear, so this is the information it's going to give you. And that's what it does, and that's what it will do. So you have to use it like a tool. I use it a lot as an editing tool. I use it a lot to find what's not being said about things, to shape my tone. If I want to look at something from a specific, very specific point of view, I use it a lot to give me like an outline of information, especially if I put in a transcript. I don't want to listen or watch the entire YouTube video, so I don't have time. Especially if we have 70 competitors. So if I, copy and paste a transcript into it and say, hey, leave out the extra, verbose talk and just give me the, direct information, the outline of what they're saying, that helps a lot. So it's a tool. It's not a coworker. It's a tool. That's my biggest piece of advice for that.
I absolutely love that. I've never heard you say that before. It's a tool, not a coworker. And I think it's such a huge point, because I think it is one of those things that it's rapidly accelerating, our workflows for sure.
Mm-hmm.
We're able to do the hard research, or, and those kinds of things, but bringing, and this gets back to anyone who's making some of these go to market decisions. You have wisdom and experience, and you can ingest the information. You have to make sure that in the same way, when you look at some, we were talking earlier about like product reviews, you have to be able to know that that person actually did a review of the product,
right,
that they opened it up, that they have any idea what that product is or what it does. Mm-hmm. You can't just assume that everything you read on the internet or anywhere else is right. And it is the same with AI. Just because you can do it a little faster, you can do it a little quippier, you can put it in your own voice or whatever. It's, it's all about the prompt, and it's all about, knowing the sources. I think that's a great point.
Yeah. And we have a great blog post on our website specifically about making the best prompts for AI and getting the best performance out of AI using prompts. Another thing I do it for is to have a discussion. Like I will ask it questions. Are you sure this is how you see it? Or tell me in another way, or ask me 3 clarifying questions about your analysis of it. What can I provide you as a user to help you, AI, give me the best response, or best analysis, best sequence of things, whatever I'm looking for.
That's right. That's fantastic. We should get ChatGPT to write this. We're gonna talk about all of these pieces of our go-to-market stack in specific detail as we go forward, as we continue with this podcast. In the same way, we'll kind of bring our perspective on AI and how we're using it for go-to-market throughout it. In a couple episodes from now, we're going to do a specific deep dive on the use of AI for building out a product marketing plan and competitive analysis and those kinds of things. So definitely stay tuned for that. Oh my God, folks. Thank you for watching Posture. As I mentioned, if you like what you heard, you can always like, subscribe, or follow.
Share.
Please also share
Don't forget
those
to
two
share.
things. If it's a short, we'll do some other things. But
You can share long form, like, subscribe, share, comment down below what you would put in your GTM stack as one of your main assets.
I really like that. Do what she said. Do what she said. Otherwise, we will keep the content coming, and look forward to sharing with you all very soon.